All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're watching, you know that you are live. I am Chief Brown, and you get the opportunity today of being a part of our monthly event, which is our Be in the Ecosystem virtual meetup. Now, some of you may say, well, what is that, Chisa? And I'm going to tell you. So every month, what we do is my company is called Give It to the People, and we do a virtual summit well, it's not a summit, it's a meetup, okay? Because we do virtual summits as well. But we do a meetup that allows people to be able to just kind of find out what's going on in the state, because there's always something good going on in the state of North Carolina. This month, we have a couple of different people on here, some who you've never seen, and you'll get the opportunity to meet them. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see. And this particular month, we are talking about a lot of different things because there's so many great things that are happening, and I just want you guys to be a part of it. So we're going to jump in. I'm going to turn off our music, even though I love a little background music, but I definitely want you guys to get into everything that's going on. So this month is it's actually self-improvement month. And I always like to theme each month, but somebody's already done a theme. So it's like, we'll find what themes are happening, and then we try to tailor the content that we put out toward that theme. So we're focused this month on self-improvement month, but it's also Hispanic Heritage Month. So shout out to all of my Hispanic people out there. And technically Hispanic Heritage Month doesn't start till the 15th, but it goes from September 15th until October 15th. So we still want to say that because we do this once a month. So we want to make sure that we shout out all of our Hispanic watchers, listeners, business owners, and ecosystem partners. We here at Give It to the People, though, are going to be focused on, again, self-improvement. And so for me, I like to look at what can we do better. All right. So this month, we always talk about our strategies, things that are actionable that we can do in collaboration. So we want to be able to share that with you so that you know things that are happening throughout the state. Now, I am a big believer in getting out of your house, getting out of your town, your zip code, your area code, wherever you're at, and going somewhere else to be able to find something that's interesting. And if you do that a little bit more, then what you will see is you'll meet all kinds of amazing people. So I'm bringing on some amazing people today for you to get to meet. So for us, I just want you to know, just so you can have a little background in case this is your first time joining us, Give It to the People. We do conferences all over the state. And so that's my husband and I, and we love to make sure that people get things that are immediately actionable. So I know you probably go to a lot of stuff where people are giving you theory and and telling you like the most vague things. We don't do that. We don't gatekeep. We give the information immediately. We try to connect you to the people. It may not be us specifically that's doing something, but it's probably one of our partners that's doing some amazing things. And so that is what we do for our company specifically. Now, for us, we also started a membership, which is called the Give It, Get It business membership. And that particular membership is for anyone in the state of North Carolina. Now, technically, you could be out of North Carolina too, but it's North Carolina focused, which allows people to be able to get this training, to get resources, and to connect. So for that, what we do is we say it's open to entrepreneurs, business owners, if you're on the side hustle, but also if you are business support organizations. So that's our co-working spaces, our CDFIs, our bankers, that is our chambers of commerce, our merchants associations, and all of the other organizations throughout the state that are able to help support businesses and make sure that they grow. So that is what we do with our membership. Now, if you join a membership, which you can scan right there, I would love for you to join that right now because it is free for you to join. Now, we do have a paid version that offers extra amenities and things, but we have a free version. So there's no barrier to entry except for all you need to do is scan the QR code and go ahead and join. Or you can just go to giveitgetit.biz and you can join that way as well. So with this, what we do is we bring on our partners and we bring on our people who are sponsors for Give It, Get It, and we let you know what's happening with them. If you join the membership, you get to also post your own events up there, see who else is in the network that hopefully you'll then spend money with, or maybe you'll make an appointment with and you'll be able to get free services if they offer free services. But we want to always make sure that you are connected. So this is basically your hub for places to go to find out some things that are happening in North Carolina. And we share your content. As if you go ahead and you put up your event, we share it on social media, we put it out in our emails. And so this gives you more reach that you wouldn't have had before all over the state. So it does not just need to be exactly where you live. If you want people to maybe even travel to you, this is a great opportunity for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on our first two guests today because I to go well, we were at the golf course last week, so I don't know if you saw my Instagram, but we had a ball at the golf course. This time we're not going to be at the golf course, but we're going to have some amazing things happening because we're going to be at the Crystal Coast Women in Business Conference. So I'm going to bring on two people with the same exact name. So it's my two errands. So you get to meet both of them. Hey ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to leave this up for a little bit just so if people want to scan because they want to go ahead and connect and maybe they want to get a ticket. And I'm going to just leave it up for a minute. And then before you go out today, I'll go ahead and bring this back up so that this way they can learn about the business summit if they're interested in coming. And I'm going to tell you one thing, you know me, the food is always great. So the caterer is going to be awesome sauce because she was awesome sauce last year. And last week, I got the benefit of being able to taste something really yummy. So you guys will also get that benefit whenever you come out to this summit as well. But I'm going to bring up, let's let Erin Derry go first. So Erin, top Erin up here, tell them about you and about the company that you work with and what's your participation in this Women's Business Summit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Erin Derry. I'm the communications manager at Veneer Technologies. A little bit about Veneer Technologies is we are one of the largest and most technologically advanced spliced wood manufacturing facilities in the continent. So you can find some of our products in stores for brands that you know and love. So think Apple, IKEA, Chick-fil-A, Alo Yoga, even the set of Jimmy Fallon. And it all has to start right here in Newport, North Carolina. So I'm so excited to be one of the speakers at the 5th Annual Crystal Coast Women in Business Conference taking place on Wednesday, October 1st. I'll be sitting on a marketing panel along with some of my amazing peers, Erin Cloninger of Friendly Market and Gabby Garner of Wash Mama. And I'm so excited to have Chisa as our moderator. And we'll be discussing the ins and outs of digital marketing, along with some of the lessons we've learned as we've entered the marketing space. Okay. So as someone who's attended the conference every year, this is a very full circle moment for me. As an attendee, this conference has helped me make more connections within the community, learn more about how other professionals are tackling the same obstacles that I face. And I get to learn from the women who have come before me. So we've got an amazing lineup this year. I'm particularly excited to hear from Laura Zapata. She is the Director of People and Culture at Veneer Tech, and she's going to be talking a little bit more about understanding your own personal leadership strengths. I'm also really excited about Chisa's session on AI, which is such a hot topic right now. And I also heard that there's going to be a little bit of yoga in this conference, which I think is going to be such a great addition to the lineup this year. But again, we're less than a month away from this year's conference, so make sure you scan that QR code and purchase your tickets now. And in the meantime, you can follow Crystal Coast Women in Business on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And if you're curious about what life is like at Veneer Tech, you can follow us at Veneer Tech on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. But we're looking forward to connecting, learning, and growing with you all on October 1st.
I love that. Okay, so you just summed up all of the goodies. First of all, I didn't know about the yoga, so that sounds like I may need to wear a more flexible outfit just to make sure make sure we can do a little bit of yoga. But I want to take that concept that you just talked about with yoga, and I want to use that and say, how do you think this conference has stretched you, right? As you're an employee, but you also, if you decided, you know, with your marketing skills that you could go out and do whatever you wanted to do because you've been doing this for a while, from year 1 to year 5, how do you feel like this has stretched you?
I feel like getting to learn more about how people are tackling the same problems that I'm facing in marketing. So we're seeing things like the rise of AI and how do we leverage that? That's been such a useful tool for us over the past few years. So learning how other people are leveraging it in their marketing initiatives. And also as somebody who works within a team and is supporting the larger company, I think it's just so fantastic to like also see that side of women in business. It's like it hits everybody at any stage in their career. So whether you want to be an entrepreneur or if you're starting out and you just need to make those connections and, you know, understand where other people are in their own career stages. I think it's just great because it's something that you can grow with each time you attend.
No, I like that. And I like the fact that from what I hear, it's very intentional. And so
Mhm.
part of that intentionality is where my other Erin Knight, comes in, being in charge of the chambers. So tell us a little bit about you and what it's like to wear the big hat and then also to be able to kind of work with all of these different areas, because she's talking about the professionals, but then also the business owners. And so even as a chamber, you're more focused on the business owners, but you still bring that aspect of working with the employees because they're probably clients of yours as far as the big company and then, whoever's underneath them. So give us a little bit about that, Erin.
Okay, so I'm Erin Knight. I'm the president of the Carteret County Chamber of Commerce. I love this virtual meetup. I love the model of it. It's perfect because we all know that fostering connections are really where growth comes from. Erin Derry, of course, spoke amazingly, like a perfect communications manager.
You did.
Erin. Very blessed to know her and to see her thrive and shine and reinvent how she does things. It's really important to be able to break bread together, which is part of what the Women in Business Conference does. And like Erin said, to meet everybody kind of where they are in their entrepreneur development. Something the conference does that I think is amazing. So I'm blessed to serve on the board for Economic Development Foundation here in Carteret County. And the Women in Business Conference is something that falls underneath that as a nonprofit. So it's really great to be part of an organization that's cheering for entrepreneurs and what that looks like. So something great that they do is they offer reduced ticket sales for women that are in their first year of business, because we all understand the value. And it's just really important to see people where they are. I'm really blessed to get to see the speakers and to focus on local and to see people that we see in our community and to celebrate with them and learn the wisdom that they have already learned along their journey. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, one of the things that you mentioned that is a unique feature that I haven't really seen anybody else do. So typically with chambers, when they're having events like this, it's like, this is the member fee and this is the non-member fee. But being able to say, first of all, you don't have to be a member, but if you are in your first year of business, we understand that you may not be making, buku bucks, right? And so we have that discounted fee. Have you found that has helped to do either drive membership or that it has helped to keep people in business? What have you found has been the benefit of being able to do that for those women that are first year in business?
Well, the great thing is this is actually the County Economic Development Foundation. So it's a nonprofit for the county. It's not even a chamber event. Their board invites different voices that get to sit and discuss how to do things. So it's great to be able to sit and say, what's the mission and what's the audience? And then to meet that in different ways and come together collaboratively. It's been super beneficial. The goal isn't to raise money. The goal is to raise women. So
they already know about Tammy. So that was a Tammy moment that you needed right there. Yes.
Yes. And that's really what it's about. So making sure that the opportunities are given, that we have a venue that will harness as many women as can come is really important. And to get speakers that are going to be able to teach and that they leave with that value. So it's really great to sit on that committee and talk about, okay, what are we seeing in our different circles? Where can we meet the needs to include women their first year in business?
I love that. I mean, and that's an important factor. And I think that it can be a model that other counties can hopefully pay attention to, because it is important to be involved with your chamber. And, some people don't have a chamber, but they have a merchants association, or there are people that are trying to develop something to be able to help businesses and they don't really know what to do yet, but they know they can help businesses. So this is a really great way to look at things. So let's check. Oh, go ahead.
And it's just community. It's all how it intertwines. I'm blessed in my position here with the chamber. We're a nonprofit membership organization, but I'm blessed to be able to serve on different boards and to take that voice for all of our members. We have over 800 businesses that are active with our chamber. but to be able to take their voices into the different communities and meet their missions is just really vital and really important, which is why I love your model here of the virtual meetup, because let's make our world bigger. Let's cheer for each other. Let's reach outside of our company and our organization and have a greater impact.
Yes. And that's what we're trying to do, because I think that sometimes people feel like, oh my God, it's so far away. Right. And now when I lived in Greensboro, it was further away. Okay. You're talking about an extra hour on the trip. But, and you still have to drive. Right. But there are things that for you, because you guys are at the coast, then you have to come inland to get to, right? And so I think that having something that's this impactful in your area does make a huge difference, because some things are just not going to come to your area. They're only going to come to a Raleigh or Durham or Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a Winston, but they don't necessarily go into some of the other counties, which means more than likely a lot of the things that you want to do, you might have to travel to. But this gives people that impact right there in the community. And then I would say, for somebody like Brandy, who's the director at the Carteret Community College Small Business Center, then that filters into her being able to still educate people, because this is one day. But what do you do the rest of the year to learn what you need to learn? And Brandy does an amazing job of being able to do that. So I do want to touch on that as far as the education goes. Last week, we had a ball. Okay. So I want to get some feedback about last week's presentation. I was able to talk about social media, but then also thinking about how you can automate things. We did a presentation called Content is Queen. So if you can give us just a little bit of feedback from that. What do you think, Erin Derry?
Yeah, I loved it. As somebody who works in social media so closely all the time, it was so great to have that refresher course. It was so fantastic, so insightful, and also having the tools provided to take that next step as well. I found that to be incredibly useful.
Yay. Yeah, that was good. Now, Erin Knight, what do you think?
So I love the bulleted list that you gave us, because we were thinking about our goals and how to meet those goals. It gave us the food for thought as far as being able to step outside of the normal boxes, and it doesn't have to be so dry. And Erin Derry is amazing with that stuff and being creative. She has, sorry, Erin. Veneer Tech actually ran an ad in our chamber print directory, because yes, print still gets used, because we all look at whether things are worth, the value of time and resources. But Erin put an ad in there that said, put 5 pages together, and this is how thick our products are. And it was a really clean ad, but it had a call to action. So it was really inventive. So the bulleted list that you gave us, of course, made me think about Erin's ad there, because I think, thinking outside the box and marketing yourself differently is really important. So when we had that lunch and learn, Chisa, the resources that you gave us and the conversation that we had really was very inspirational as far as improving ourselves and doing things fun and different, and don't be so dry.
I love that, because I'm not a dry person. I try to keep myself moisturized as well as this. So to me, it's just like, I think I really want people to understand that it's not going anywhere. The social media is going to be here. It's going to change forms, but it's not going anywhere. And so do it the way that makes the most amount of sense for you, so that this way you're not overwhelmed. So I think that that's great. And I can't wait, because I'm going to the AI presentation that I will be doing down there. I'm going to add some new little bells and whistles. But the thing is, if I were to put a presentation together today, by the time that we get to October 1st, something may totally completely change, because it's just moving so rapidly. And one thing I can say, I'm going to include some stuff. Okay. Last week I went to, it was Friday, North Carolina Central University had an amazing first ever big gigantic conference with OpenAI. So I was able to be there with the OpenAI people, who, if you don't know who that is, they're the people who make ChatGPT, and refine some of the things that I was able to do. And I can't wait, because you guys will be you will be the first class that I do this in person with. So some of the stuff that I learned last week to make things easier, better, faster, that's what we're going to be learning. So if you guys want to go ahead and get that ticket, you probably should go ahead and get it, because it is going to be such a dynamic event. And I'm going to go ahead and put that back up again so that this way you can see it. Let me pull up our screen again, and then we're going to move on to our next guest. But let me go back in just so you can see. And do you guys have like any final words or anything that you want to encourage people to come out, to join anything or anything like that? Let us know.
If you want contagious energy, come see us at the Women in Business Conference.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's an excuse to get to the beach and break bread with some really good, strong women.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. So let's use that as a tax write-off, right? So the travel, the hotel stay, it's all a business thing, right? And then this way you can have a great thing. Now, let me tell you one thing about them though. They start early in the morning. Okay. So this is a 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning kind of thing.
Breakfast and coffee.
Yep,
Mhm.
breakfast will be there, lunch is served. So this way, you know, if you need to get your coffee and get up early, or you need to get it once you get there, definitely do that. But please go ahead and register. We would love to see some people, you know, even if they don't live in the Carteret County area, from other areas to just kind of come around. Because I know Beaufort comes in, and you probably have a lot of other people that are in that region, but it's worth the drive, and just meeting some other women and finding out what's going on with them in their neck of the woods and sharing what you have is definitely something that's very impactful. And I hope you guys can join us. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take them off, and then I'm going to introduce our next speaker. Ladies, thank you so much for being on today. And I will see you on the first in less than a month. Okay. As Erin reminded us. So I'll see you really soon. And then just stay healthy and wealthy. Okay. Healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. All right. So as we're transitioning, this next lady, she is an introvert, and she is an amazing teacher. Okay. And the thing about her, also, she's one of my sorors. Ow, let's put it up for the SG Rose. So I get the pleasure of, and she will be my bookkeeper. Okay. So we're about to retain services. Okay. She's also a member of our Give It, Get It business membership. And if you are like lost in the sauce when it comes to what do you need to do to get your books together, because you know that that's an important factor in business, then you need to meet the one and only Quintonia Thorpe. Hey, girl.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I am wonderful. And I want to give you a great introduction because you deserve that. And I just want you to tell people about you, about Prestige Money Managers, and why bookkeeping is so important for businesses and vital.
So I am Quintonia Thorpe with Prestige Money Managers, and we are a boutique accounting firm, and we basically educate, train, and perform accounting services for small business owners and nonprofits. So it is important to do your books because we don't know how to move or how to grow, or what we need to cut back on, or what is making us or generating us the most revenue, right? So if we're just flying by the seat of our pants, or we're trying to get a loan later, or we want to apply for a grant or different things, we don't have our numbers together. Our P&Ls are not right. Our balance sheet is not right. These are all things that they're going to require or ask us for. And so we are not in a place to actually do that, right? Not let alone, we don't really want to be at the end of the year in December trying to put all of these things together, right? And so that would take hours on end, and then you are taking away from the actual service that you provide or product that you provide to your customers.
Okay. She pulled somebody's edges just now. So when you said you don't want to be at the end of the year, I have been one of those people. Okay. That's at the end of the year, or let's be real, at the top of the next year, you got to get everything together because you didn't take the time to do it throughout the year. And so you're probably wondering why I said she's getting ready to be. And let me tell you something. My accountant, who I love, Miss Lisa. All right. Oh my God, Miss Lisa is retiring. Okay. So Miss Lisa, when she did this last set of taxes, she said, "Didn't you say that you had a friend? So we could just transfer your stuff over there to your friend that can go ahead and that can do the taxes, right?" And I was like, "Oh my God, Miss Lisa, but you know me." And she's just like, "Well, the other lady can know you too, right?" So I said to Miss Lisa, but I have somebody that I trust and that I know, wants to steer me in the right direction. And I want to touch on something that I know that you told one of your clients. She was saying, and this is not like a private conversation, but we won't mention the clients, but we were at an event together and your client said, well, let me see if I can afford to go do that. Let me see what the books say. And looked over at you and you were like, I don't know if the books say that you should do that right now, right? But it was such a good exchange, because being a person's friend is not the same thing as being their bookkeeper or whatever it is that you need in that professional setting. And so can you talk about how you kind of build relationships with your clients, but also let them know that they need to stay on this path so that this way they can be productive and be hopefully solvent?
Yes. So being an accountant and building a relationship with a client, whether it's a friend or another business owner or someone you've not known, is you have to build basically a relationship with them, right? Because you're dealing with someone's money. So you want someone that you know, like, and trust. That's the theory of behind doing business with someone. But you also want to make sure that, okay, are they telling my business? Is it really confidential? Are they really going to separate between business and friendship? Which I do, basically, right? So if I'm in business mode, my friends know when that is, basically, and we're going to go straight to the nitty gritty. No, we can't do that right now. What is it that we can do? What are accounts receivable or income is getting ready to come in, so we can look at those things and really dig in deep with your numbers, right? And so I want to make sure that people are comfortable with me, but I want to tell them the truth. We base our business on honesty and integrity, and we want to make sure that you have the financial clarity to do what you need to do.
Oh, okay. I'm going to type that in, everybody. We're going to put that across the screen. She said the financial clarity. And that right there, to me, that is a good little takeaway of today, because I don't think we always have that, right? Like, I think that it comes a point where we're like, we know we need to make more money. All right. But it's like, well, how or when or what do I need to do differently? And so when you talk about financial clarity, if you do have it, what kind of decisions can you be better at making because you know what your financial situation is?
One is whether you can hire people.
Oh,
That's the first thing. Second, maybe you want to grow. So maybe you want to open up another location or scale your business, add on more clients, but you don't know that if you can't see the numbers. So all of those things play an important role. Maybe you need to, get the loan that's actually going to help you grow that business or get that second location. That is also a reason to actually know exactly what's going on. And so I'm not just educating you, I'm actually educating myself so that I can educate you even better, right? So as an accountant or your CPA or your tax professional, we're always trying to do, some of us are required to do more continuing ed, and then we actually just go and get that information because things change in accounting too, tax laws, different things like that. I don't personally do taxes, but I work with several tax preparers or tax professionals, and I want to make sure that I'm giving the best information to my client. So we're all being educated on an ongoing basis, and I want to make sure that you have what you need.
Yeah. And one of the things I just saw recently that changed, they were going to do the changing where if you made $600 or more, that you had to report that. Now, I've seen since this, I'm going to use the words only because that's what it's called, not because I agree with it, but the big, beautiful bill has it where now they're going back to 200 transactions and $20,000. So something like that affects really smaller businesses because now they won't have to do that reporting in the same manner. But if they're not paying attention to things like that in the media, or they don't have someone like you to say, well, we should kind of pull back on this, we should spend more on that, then it leaves them in a position where they're not as educated about what they can do with their taxes, and then just saving. So I want to ask you one more thing in relation to our quarterly taxes. If a
Yes.
person says, Quintonia, I am lost in the sauce right now. It's October, which means they got, well, excuse me, it's not October. It's September. Where did I just go? Okay, it's September. Hold up, get it, bring that back, right? It's September. And so they will still have 1 quarter left in the rest of the year. So if they
Correct.
were to start working with you now, then this would enable them to be able to get their books together and then finish up the year strong and then go into next year with financial clarity. So can you talk about the QuickBooks training that you do, or if they don't want to take the training, that what you can do to help them and you can do it for them?
Okay, so I currently teach QuickBooks Part 1 and 2 is basically for beginners and intermediate, and I teach them most for, excuse me, small business centers, or anyone else that would need it. I also offer one-on-one training for those classes as well as bookkeeping. And so what you can do in the meantime is, one, even if you're not using an accountant or a software, you want to start getting your books in order, right? Because if you've been in business from January to September, you may owe quarterly taxes. And the best thing to do is not to wait until the big bill is due at the beginning of the next year, right? So each quarter, after that quarter, the next month, we're in September, so October 15th, your third quarter normally would be your taxes, your estimated taxes. But if we don't know the numbers, we can't actually do anything to figure out what that looks like. And so this will be a great time, as Chisa said, to start and get everything in order. And then you'll only have that last quarter. So let's say it's not ideal, but if you did January through September and you say, well, okay, I owe $5,000, maybe you can split that up to pay over the next month or so to get that caught up, as opposed to waiting. Maybe in the fourth quarter, you did double that, what you've made. It's possible, right? Depending on what business you're in. So now maybe you owe 10,000. Well, that bill is not going to look so good in January, right? That you owe those as estimated taxes. And then also you need to talk with your tax professional, right? So they can provide a strategy. You don't want to just see your tax person at one time of year. That's not good. They can't tell you anything once they've started the preparation for taxes, because they only have until April to get everybody's taxes in, right? So they're not going to really be able to strategize with you. So you want to make sure that you've seen them at least a couple of times a year before that. But you would actually come to me or someone like me before that in order to get your books in order.
No, I mean, it's an important factor. And that's why we wanted to make sure that we did definitely stress that with people. And I'm just going to let you guys know. Now, I'm always transparent and I tell the truth. We had a class scheduled. Me, Quintonia was going to teach the class for 2 hours. And I want to say shame on you guys, okay? Because guess what? People didn't register for the class. So it's interesting how people always want something and people always want to make money, but you don't spend time on the money things. So you can do all of the marketing, all of the AI, all of the, everything, all of the taking the pictures and all of that. But if there's no money there, what's going to happen, right? And so we have to be really good stewards of our money so that we can continue to not even just grow, just stay in business, right? Because some people may be like, listen, I just can't even grow right now. But as long as I can maintain this ship. And so we want you to be able to not only maintain, we do want you to be able to grow, but that means that those financials have to be in order, which I like to call make your paperwork. Okay. So you have to have your paperwork to make your paperwork. That's what I like to say to people. So what I want to do is I want to bring on somebody else who can make your paperwork, because you need the foundation of what Quintonia is doing. But then you need the Latasha Best-Gaddy also. She was like, that was too funny. She was like, oh, right? But then you need somebody that's like, okay, you know what? What else is available to you when you actually have a little bit of money, right? Or a lot of money, and you need to make it grow further. So she's not technically on here today, I didn't even tell her this. She's not technically on here today to really be Infinity Bridges. I had a whole nother plan for her today, but talk a little bit about Infinity Bridges. And I also want you to talk about Quintonia does your books. So how has she helped you? Oh my goodness. Are you unmuted? Hold on. Yeah, you're unmuted. You're unmuted, but we don't hear you. Uh-oh. See, that's what we get for catching people by surprise. Okay, so I hear Quintonia. Quintonia, you hear me. We just don't hear Latasha.
That's right.
Maybe you want to try to go out and come back in? Okay, she's gonna do that. She's gonna go out and come back in. Good morning. Okay, so I see who's on. Amanda's on live. I see Corey's on live. I see Cash is on live. So, and that's the people that typed in. So if you guys have a question or you want to leave a comment, you can go ahead and you can type in. And then this way we can let people know, if you have any questions for Quintonia, that'd be good. LaShawn, I see she's on it. She said she planned on not talking. Latasha knew she was gonna talk. Or at least I think she knew she was going to talk. Yeah, but something is going on over there. And she's been on before, so she knows, the ropes of this, but it may just be a little internet connection. But the thing is, again, I didn't even plan on her talking about Infinity Bridges because she has some great stuff that's coming up that we want to talk about. But what I'll do then, because I had a segue, but you see the segue just messed up. So for you, Quintonia, what's one big tip that if a person says, listen, I'm not even sure if I can hire a bookkeeper right now, that you would give them in order to at least try to get things together and keep their stuff manageable?
I would say at least use maybe a spreadsheet, right? Some way of tracking the numbers, what you're spending, whether it's staples, rent, all those things per month, so that you have something organized, especially for your tax professional, because we don't want to be shoebox receipt people. And also keep that in mind that when you go to your tax professional and you take in what they would call a shoebox receipts and they have to go through those receipts, that is definitely an upcharge.
Yes, and I'm usually willing to pay the upcharge, but I've been doing so much better. Yeah, because I used to just give here's all of the stuff. I'll see you. You let me know when it's done. But I've tried to be better than that. Okay, let's see if we can get her back on now. Can you say something?
Hello, mic check 1 2.
Okay, all right. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna rewind that. So here's Latasha Besgatti. Latasha, could you talk to us a little bit about how Quintonia has helped you to be a better business owner? Because I know she does your bookkeeping.
Yes. So first and foremost, when she says there is a separation between friendship and business, she really means that. So first of all, let me just say that I have known Quintonia for over 30 years, and there is two sides of Quintonia. So one, from a bookkeeping side, you do not want her to fire you, okay? And she will threaten that if you do not follow her accounting rules and regulations. And she is quickly to tell you, oh no, you're not doing that, which I actually appreciate. No, but so I think not only just the level of professionalism and integrity that she brings, but also the consistency in terms of helping think beyond the numbers, because there are a lot of times that accounting professionals will just do what you give them, right? And then they will say, these are your numbers. This is on you. What we're able to do is have a accounting partnership where she's able to really help me think through, like, okay, this is where I'm going, or on this project, this is what I'm trying to do. What is the best financial or accounting strategy to be able to do that? Or what is the best way to keep up with the reporting to be able to do that as well? And so it's not just a partnership in terms of here it is, she takes it and she hates this, but she is not just a data entry person, right? She will typically tell you it's not just about data entry. it is about analyzing the accounting functions, making sure the reports are right, making sure that things balance, making sure that there's receipts for that. So I think that is really important. And another thing that I think is important is if you are a paper person, it is now time for you to get into the day and era of scanning and uploading and attaching and things of that nature. I will say when we started, I was using a different software, and then she was not familiar with, and she was willing to even learn that software. We did later eventually transition to the software that she's the expert in, but I think just the willingness to even meet entrepreneurs where they are and what software they're using is also another advantage of working with her. So I think those are the key things that I've definitely learned. And again, I have learned that I definitely did not want her to fire me as a client. Uh, and she will quickly be like, okay, now you got to get this done. But the level of communication, the level of responsiveness, the level of accounting partnership has really just made that just a blessing and a beauty to the work that I do, as well as keeping my back office accounting together and making sure that things are moving well for the next person, which is the tax person.
Okay, so testimonial
you.
was just given, review, 5 stars, chef's kiss, mwah, all of that good stuff. So Quintonia, I want to thank you for being on today and sharing a little tidbit. And Latasha, she's probably going to laugh when I say this, but after this event we had yesterday, we see that there's really, really a need for you in the Triad area. And I'm sure that we'll be doing some more things in the Triad area. Not to say that there's not things all over that need to be done, but I think that yesterday, and we'll tell you what yesterday was, but yesterday was a very eye-opening, very think about how you can be more engaged. Like even when you feel like you're engaged and then you really see things, it does make a huge difference into, especially if you have a servant leader type of heart, to really help more people. And I know that just because stuff doesn't work out one time doesn't mean it won't work out the next time, but people need the stuff that you're doing. And so I just want to applaud you and thank you. And just know you'll probably be getting some receipts soon. And don't fire me once we get into that. Get into that part.
Thank you so much.
It sounded like a nice thing and a threat at the same time. Let me threaten you with some work.
Well, look, she said, I'm gonna just tell you like I tell her, and she knows it. And I'd be like, I'm the client that you can never fire. Like I will still show up and be like, here it is, and you're not gonna fire me because I'm gonna just pay you for just not fire me. And so I know you're gonna get mad, but I'm gonna still show up. So you can fire me, but I'm gonna still show up as a client.
Okay, all right. So Quintonia, I'm gonna take you off, but thank you so much for being on today.
You are welcome.
Stay on if you like. We don't want you to like leave or anything like that, but let's get into this Latasha Besgatti. So I told her yesterday, I gave Latasha a directive. Let's get the big heads in here. We need y'all to see the whole faces today. I gave Latasha a directive yesterday. And the directive was do the most, do the absolute most. Okay. Now, let me explain why, because you're probably like, well, what are you talking about, Chisa? So yesterday we did an amazing event and it was at Bennett College. And it is because my good friend is doing the most over there at Bennett, where she is basically taking over the Women's Business Center of the Triad. Where's Tammy?
I know.
So when I say do the most, I mean in the most effective, efficient, way that you can definitely do that. So that's why I said she wasn't really technically going to be on here today as Infinity Bridges. Today, she was really going to be on here representing the Women Business Center of the Triad. And so they had a director that was there. She's no longer there. And so then, of course, they didn't have a director. And so she's filling in to take over some of that workload and to be able to help people with free business counseling. That is not what happens with Infinity Bridges. Okay. So when you're over here at the Women's Business Center, then you'll be able to get some free business counseling. So I want you to tell them about that whole thing quickly, and then just what you want people to do.
All right. Well, thank you, Tisa. So I just want to set the context too. So first and foremost, yesterday was an amazing focus group. So one of the things that the Women's Business Center of the Triad has been in operation for a couple of several years. However, as she mentioned, during transition and just with a lot of things happening within the organization, that people didn't really know what was happening. There was not an engagement and a level. And so yesterday was a amazing focus group to really listen and really learn what is needed. So we are excited to partner and to be a consultant of the National Institute for their Center for Entrepreneurship to manage and do trainings as well as counselings for all of their triad region. That means 15 counties within the triad region that will be able to have access to all of me and all of my business wisdom and strategies that, and so being able to provide that service to business owners. And again, you do not have to be a woman to participate. All you have to do is be in one of those counties, because the National Institute actually operates 4 women's business centers. So the WBC of the Triad actually covers 15 counties within the Triad region. So if you're in that region, please. So what I want you to be able to do is scan that QR code and definitely making sure that you get access to scheduling a counseling session. So if you're looking to grow your business, get a strategy about your business, any type of things that you're looking for as it relates to your business, please reach out. The second thing is, if you're in the Triad region and you're like, hey, we want you to come and share what you're doing. I was bringing gifts yesterday. I had stickers yesterday. I had all kinds of just wonderful goodies and things. So if you're like, hey, we're having an event and it's in the Triad region, please come, then please definitely reach out to me to be able to do that as well. And one of my colleagues and part of my professional tribe, I must say it since Chisa said it, but Sherelle James, she'll say, now, when you're trying to reach me, you need to use the contact information for the Women's Business Center of the Triad, because that is the entry to the free. If you connect with me on Infinity Bridges, that is the paid. So that is a different email as well as cost point. So just know that, and this is in partnership with the National Institute. So please, please, that's my charge. That's my ask. The third thing that I would just say is be on the lookout. So as Chisa just mentioned, that Quintonia is going to be needed. Chisa is going to be needed. What we also know is that I am planning to kick off an accelerator. We named it yesterday. It is going to be from lifestyle to scale accelerator program. And it is going to be for businesses in the Triad. We're working out the details, but out of that yesterday came, this is what's going to be needed. And it's going to really be for businesses that have been operating as a lifestyle business, but have the desire and the need to scale your business. Now, if you love where you are and you love being a lifestyle business, hey, no problem. But guess what? If you want more, if you're trying to put some strategies together, if you're trying to figure out how to take it to the next level, guess what? This is going to be the accelerator for you. So know that that is coming. And again, it's going to be from lifestyle to scale accelerator program that is going to be presented by the Women's Business Center of the Triad. The other thing that came out of yesterday that I think is really good is they asked for quarterly meetups. So if you are in the Triad region and you're like, man, I just don't know other business owners and things, then guess what? We're going to be sponsoring some quarterly meetups as well. So again, we're getting ready to come into the Triad region with a force. We're getting ready to be fierce, and we're getting ready to make some impact, and we're getting ready to connect with all of you. So be on the lookout. And if there's ever an opportunity for me to be able to be somewhere or do something, don't hesitate.
Yes. So I'm just going to tell you, I got a call around 8:30 this morning with a wonderful proposal from somebody that was at the meeting. And I said, yes, I would love to do XYZ. And I said, well, I just need a location. Da, da, da. So we were talking about, where and what. And now when I'm coming back, my stuff's not going to be free. So it's not going to be free. So get all of the free that you can, even though I'll still be participating with some of the stuff that Latasha is doing. But yesterday showed me that no matter how much we think is out there, sometimes the needs are not being met. So, oh my God, it's so many resources. It is so many resources, but are they the resources for your business? One of the words that was brought up was niche. One of the words that was brought up yesterday was collaboration. It was a lot of different things that were brought up, but it gave me the feels. And when I found out some very interesting information yesterday, I'm going to bring on this next person who I have not talked to you yesterday, so you don't know all of the tea, all of the business goodiness. But I'll be talking to you after this is over. I think sometimes that, people do need to meet online. I think that sometimes things do need to be at night because everybody does not have availability during the day. And that's one thing that I think that really came out of last night. And so when I talk about the supporters and who's doing what and making things happen, this next person I'm bringing on, this is the way that I brought you on. Your head is little. Okay, there we go. All right. So you had a lot of headroom because I put it on this screen. But LaShawn Harley is doing some amazing stuff with what she's getting ready to do. And I want to give a couple of minutes to that. So if we can kind of spend 5 minutes on that to just kind of let you know. So LaShawn.
Can I do an intro for her real quickly?
Oh, she gets an intro? Oh, okay.
First of all, let me just say LLC is on, right? So, and if you have not heard us talk about LLC, it is Latasha, LaShawn, and Chisa. So that's the LLC. So it's really important to know that all three of us are on this morning. But as I intro her, for what she's doing, I want all of you to know, if you know of business owners that definitely need the impact of not just somebody that can look at what your business is doing, but look at truly who your customers are, what service or product, and really help you get to the root of that, then the lead igniter is the person, because she is going to not only help you identify that, but ignite your business, ignite your energy, and ignite the implementation of that business. And so, if you want to refer businesses to any of her upcoming events that she'll talk about, but I'm gonna even encourage you to maybe, sponsor someone that is going to participate. So, and I know she wouldn't have said that, so that's why I wanted to just do my own little pre-intro into all of that. So I'm now gonna turn it over to the lead igniter, Miss LaShawn Harley.
I love that.
Look like the motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Look, I was like, that's your intro.
We lost Latasha. Can you hear?
No, she can hear you. I just took her off.
Hi, how are you all doing today? Thank you. Not a problem. Not a problem. Well, thank you all, and I'm going to be conscious of time. So I'll get with you, Latasha, later to pay for that introduction. So what she's talking about is the fact that I have launched a brand new course. And I hate calling it a course. So some people would call it a framework. It's called Strategic Prizes, and prizes is an acronym, PRIZES. And it came about, and I thought it was about 15 years ago, but then I realized in getting ready for my inaugural class that I actually been talking about this since 2002. And prizes stands for planning for purpose, research for readiness, implementation for illumination, zones for zeroing in, evaluation for elevation, and sparks for success. These are all key components that go towards you having a successful business. We know we always talk about keep your eyes on the prize. Well, when you're in business, there's several prizes that you're always looking at and throughout the life of your business. And one of the things is that we keep our eyes on the prize, looking at, well, our prize is our destination. No, every time you complete a mission, every time you do something successful, that is a prize when you're in business. Successful people say, focus also on your small wins. Too often we focus on what we don't have and what we need, but we focus on the fact we got a prize. Some of us, even still being in business with all the mistakes we've made, for all the things that are going on, things that are happening to us, we don't celebrate those prizes. So that's what these courses are about, the strategic prizes. And I have right now 2 editions. One edition is for businesses, and I focus on visionary, forward thinkers, and underestimated entrepreneurs, really helping you look at where you need to be in your business. And there are 3 modules. There's where you're doing your building, you're expanding, and thriving. And then I have a signature edition, which is for the individual. You have to remember, we ourselves are a business. Everything that we apply to our businesses applies to our lives, our everyday living, our relationships, our community involvements. So there's one, using the tools as it relates to your business ideas, whether for-profit, nonprofit, social enterprise, no matter what stage you are. So building is when you have ideas. You could be a startup or you could be in business looking at, I want to pivot, I want to do a new direction. So that's the building model stage, building pathway. Then the next group is called expanders. This is where I'm on a trajectory, I'm emerging in it. I want to see where else I can go and if I'm on the right pathway, and I want to refine it. And then the thrivers are, I'm doing what I want to do, but am I creating the legacy I want to create? Where am I going to go after this for succession planning? So there are 3 different pathways. Each of them have 3 separate modules, and each module goes for 6 weeks. So I've already started my inaugural group of builders. We started on Tuesday, but I will be doing the full launch, which is already available. That starts on the 24th for the thrivers, the 25th for the expanders, and the 30th for the builders. All this information is on Eventbrite. If you go to bit.ly/strategic prizes, then you should be able to get to it. You can get to it from my website by being in Becoming. You can click on there. So we are there to actually help. And this one's the Thrivers Pathway. And that's the first one that's going to be coming up. I've got several webinars that are going to be coming up, like Starting Bold or Stay Behind. All of these are my ignition series. So I have collections that are also on Eventbrite. Now, there is a price for this. This is not free unless someone sponsors you. A group or organization can sponsor you. But understand this, I do have a payment plan. Now, to get to the payment plan, you can do that by going to my Acuity, which is beingandbecoming.as.me. And that will allow you to go into a payment plan. Now, you may say, also, do I have to do all the modules? No, you can set it up where you do one module or you can do all 3 modules or 2 modules. It's up to you. Information about them are available, and I'm going to shut down because I look at the time, and Chisa likes to stay on time and stay on point. But just contact me if you need any additional information.
You know, I do love to stay on time, and I appreciate that. And I definitely wanted people to know that there are resources out there for them. There is somebody who knows what they're talking about in business who can definitely help you to be able to grow. And like I said, after I finish up my next thing that I have to do today, I will be calling you. And I think it's important that we are strategic with our businesses because they change on a regular basis. They change with the times. They change with the administration. They change with, you know, who our customer is or who we want them to be. And so really being able to kind of fine tune that for ourselves definitely makes a difference. So I want to leave you guys at the end with something that I think, that I know is impactful that we did last month. And I'm going to show this video really quickly. So every time we do these, I try to show you like a new little video, a little something, so that this way you can see what we really do. Because I think that it's important for people to not only be in a position to join us on these, these monthly virtual meetups for us to talk about it. But I also believe don't just talk about it, be about it. So we like to show you how we be about it, right? And so this video is going to be a synopsis of our LinkedIn Live that we did in person, and we did it in partnership with the Library of Durham County Public Library. So I want you guys to be able to see that. And then we're going to bid you adieu for the day and let you just, go back to regular life, but you'll have a list of events. So I want to encourage you before that to also make sure you go to the membership, getit.biz, so that this way you can list your business up there. You can be a part of all of these things that we're talking about. You'll also get the emails for everything that's coming out. So you'll know what's happening, but also being able to expand your business and list on that site. And we're going to be adding some more robust things to the site this month as well. So go ahead and join now. All right. Hold up. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So now you got to see a little bit of the energy that we bring. I know, Cash, you were there. So did you get to see yourself? We were on the rooftop at the library. We want people to always feel welcome when they come to events. And so that's what you're going to feel at everything that we do. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching today. If you're interested in having any of the workshops that we do in person, all you have to do is send an email and send a contract. Okay. Send a contract with a nice little fee attached to it, and we'll be there. Okay. But I just want to let you guys know that this has been a really interesting year, and it's going to continue to get even more interesting as things change. So you'll see some stuff that's going to maybe ramp up because, this is the end of the year. And so people are realizing like, oh my goodness, I actually need to get stuff together now. It's a great time to do it. So if you've been a little off, if stuff kind of threw you off earlier in the year, take this month to get yourself together and work on that self-improvement month, and just think about the things that you can do to refine what you do and make it even better. I want to thank you guys for watching today. I want to thank all of our guests, both Aarons, LaShawn, Latasha, Quintonia, and then all of our people that were on live. I want to shout out Kareem because I saw you on there as well. So everybody that left a comment, that may ask a question, we appreciate you guys so much. And this is going to be live right now for you to be able to watch on YouTube on the replay. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you'll be able to zoom in on that and, and just get some more information. But we put everything out on our social media as well. So always great content. And hopefully we'll see you back here next month. Make sure you always show up and show out and continue to do what? Give it to the people. All right. Bye, guys.